Good afternoon, everyone, and happy 4th of July, pre-4th of July. Thanks for your patience. We were just waiting for a few more people to log in, but we're ready to go now. So without further ado, I give you the Billy Novick duo.
Well, thank you. So Ross and I are jazz musicians, so we have some of an interesting take on 4th of July. We'll do some patriotic stuff, but as much as anything else, we're just going to sort of celebrate American culture. Jazz is obviously an American art form, so we're going to sort of talk about that a little bit. We're going to play there's a lot of also famous music and people associated with July 4th, so we're going to bring them up too. We're going to start with the George Gershwin song, this kind of a very Americanish in a way. It's called Strike Up the Band. Well, thank you, and how could I have forgot to introduce Ross Pito? He'll be the star of the show before you know it. Irving Berlin was one of the most American kind of composers you'd ever find. He wrote God Bless America, Easter Parade, all sorts of things like that. And he was actually from Siberia, Jewish, came over here when he was 5 years old and became sort of super Americanized. This isn't specifically about American thing, but it's certainly become associated with sort of 4th of July. This is Alexander's Ragtime Band, Irving Berlin's first hit.
There's no ragtime in it.
What?
There's no ragtime.
Right, there's no ragtime in it. And we've got a smallish band, but... One, two, one. talking about jazz here a little bit, and jazz started in New Orleans, as most of you probably know. And here's a song, I hope you're familiar with it. It's called the Basin Street Blues.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, great. Cool. You don't have to explain anymore. Well, thank you. Who wrote those songs? Anybody know? George M. Cohan, absolutely right. Considered the father of Broadway. He appeared in, I've written some of this stuff down because I'm not going to remember it. What is it? Oh yeah, appeared in more than 36 Broadway musicals, wrote more than 50 shows, published more than 300 songs, and he was born in Providence. It's kind of cool. Another song we don't have time to do probably was written by Harry Woods, who was born in North Chelmsford. Who'd have thought? It's great. But anyway, so we're going to do a little homage to Broadway, and this next song is another George Gershwin song. And you may not know this, Gershwin wrote 2 political parodies that were musicals, and both were big hits on Broadway. It was sort of somewhat scandalous when he did it. It's like the first time it was ever done. This one was Strike Up the Band, which is the first song we did, and this is both the song and the musical was called Of Thee I Sing. And it was considered scandalous because obviously my country 'tis of thee I sing, but Gershwin wrote Of Thee I Sing, Baby. And you can't put baby after the Of Thee I Sing. Yeah, it's just so wrong, but here we go. Of thee I sing, maybe summer, autumn, winter, spring. Baby, you're my silver lining, you're my sky of blue. There's a love light shining just because of you. Oh, of thee I sing, baby, you have got that certain little thing. Oh, baby, shining star and inspiration, worthy of a mighty nation. Of thee I sing. Well, thank you. And the line I love is, you're my shining star and inspiration, worthy of a mighty nation. I'm sorry, I'm not like this person that kind of hates modern music and loves the old stuff, but they don't write lines like that anymore, that's for sure. So, July 4th, 1900, birthday of Louis Armstrong. Now, it sounds amazing. Isn't it perfect for him to have been born then? He registered his birth certificate like that. He registered his Social Security card, his draft card, all that date, and it turns out he made it all up. He was actually born, I think, August 4th, 1901, but they didn't find that out until 1988. So here's Louis Armstrong, perfect, sort of, the kind of giant legend father of American jazz, born on the 4th of July. Wouldn't you know it? So we're going to play something that Louis did. This is, he had a wonderful group in the 1920s. I think it was 1920, actually, 28. It's called the Hot Five and the Hot Seven. They never actually performed, but it was kind of an all-star group of some of the best New Orleans jazz musicians. And they recorded probably about 30 or 40 songs, I think. Some that are like inspirational and still like, I mean, the sort of Bible for that era of music for musicians today, even just starting out. So this is one called Struttin' with Some Barbecue. Yeah. Take a little detour and do some songs that were sort of popular during the various wars. So obviously the wars were important to our lifestyle, our culture, and the freedom and the whole basis of our country. So this is a song from World War I that was actually a big hit, both in Great Britain and here in France. This is called Roses of Picardy from, I think, 1916. Knocked the clarinet over earlier. I knocked the clarinet over. Like the first thing I did get here, set up the clarinet, put it where I thought was a safe space, which happened to be right next to my foot. Knocked it over. I think it's okay, but it's behaving a little erratically, so I'll switch to sax for a bit. So returning to, let's say, Tin Pan Alley and Broadway composers, here's a song by Cole Porter. It'd be hard to do a program of our kind of music without doing one of his songs. This is called You Do Something to Me. So you take the first solo. It's me, isn't it? Do you know what scratching is in music? It's sort of like a DJ thing, like this track. They take records, usually specifically records, and they sort of scratch them as they're playing. And it sort of like gives it sort of like, for some reason, considered a contemporary, very kind of cool sound. Not to me, who like grew up worshiping those records, but that sounded exactly like scratching. Where's that coming from? 1, 2, 5, 8, 1. something to me, something that simply mystifies me. Now tell me how it could be that you've the power to hypnotize me. Let me live with your spell. Do that voodoo that you do so well. For you do something to me that nobody else can do. Well, thanks. That's got one of the hardest bridges in the middle. The words, if you screw them up, you do. Let me live neath your spell. Do that voodoo that you do so well. How many times do I sing it? And it's like do that doo-doo that you do so well. Occupational hazard, I guess. So we've got a little quiz now. Part of our country's tradition, sometimes hard to believe it, is our electoral system, our democracy, and presidential elections have always had their theme songs and campaign songs and things like that. So we're going to play a couple of them. Maybe you can guess where they're from. I can't say the titles because it'll give them away. Okay, here are two. There's a little medley. All right, presidential campaign historians, what can you tell me? Yes? Yep, great. I'm just well, not Harry. Excellent. Harry Truman. Yes, happy days to hear again. Great. Okay. Now we've got one. Well, you'll probably guess it when I tell you about it. Hang on a second. Okay, I think battery might run out. Is there an 8-year-old out there that can fix this thing? Okay. This is I'll tell you what it is. So you're probably familiar with Battle Hymn of the Republic. Oh, great. Okay. Thank you. So this is actually the Battle Hymn of the Republic, I think, was before the Civil War. This song was written during the Civil War. It was, believe it or not, the rallying cry for both the Union troops and the Confederate troops with different words, different lyrics. It became the theme song for Abraham Lincoln's 1864 presidential campaign. I can't believe I know this stuff, let alone say it in public. Wikipedia is great for this. Yeah. I just copy and paste. But the words are amazing. I'm just going to say them really quickly. Both the Confederates and the Union troops said this one. Yes, we'll rally around the flag, boys. We'll rally once again, shouting the battle cry of freedom. But then the Union lyrics are, we were springing to the call of our brothers gone before, excuse me, shouting the battle cry of freedom, and we'll fill our vacant ranks with 1 million free men more, shouting the battle cry of freedom. We will welcome to our numbers the loyal, true, and brave, shouting the battle cry of freedom, and although they may be poor, not a man shall be a slave, shouting the battle cry of freedom. Pretty amazing song. It's like when you think of the lyrics like that. Written by George Root in 1862. We're not going to sing it. We'll play it. While we're stuck in the 19th century, another July 4th connection is Stephen Foster, the father of American composition, or America's first great composer, was born on July 4th, 1826, exactly 50 years after the Declaration of Independence. And you know him for songs like Shenandoah, my Jeannie with the light brown hair, She'll Be Coming Around the Mountain, all sorts of things like that. And I've picked one of his actually saddest songs. This is called Hard Times, Come Again No More, sort of like singing to poor people who haven't got a hope in life and just praying that hard times don't come back to their door anymore. What are you doing? Yeah. Well, thank you. Isn't that gorgeous? It's like, it's funny. I mean, you ask probably anybody between age 12 and 30, they probably have no idea who Stephen Foster was. They won't even recognize the names of the songs at this point. Hey, we're going to feature Ross. Ross has a wonderful solo stride piano rendition of John Philip Sousa's Washington Post. So here we go. We used to do them all in high school marching band. Oh my God, July 4th. I know this is like sort of behind the scenes, but for a 12-year-old kid to like play clarinet marching like for 4 hours for songs like you'd never hear again in your life, you know, and it's like playing a clarinet part which is for 4 hours. Oh my God, I was so happy when we got to the end and there were like, you know, a picnic and hot dogs and hamburgers and soda and stuff like that. But every summer it would be like all the band, you know, the middle school, high school kids, oh my God, we got to do July 4th again. Sorry to burst your bubble. As an adult, it's great. As a kid, though, it's like, I don't know. Yes?
So, in my opinion, as a practicing musician who just kind of goofs around a lot at the instrument, this is sort of how ragtime started. I think there were probably a lot of players back then, sort of self-taught, or at least not classically trained, but ragging everything because ragging was all the rage. And, well, it started in the 1890s. I think this march was from 1898. And since the march form is the form that all the ragtime composers adopted, it made sense that they were listening to people ragging these things. And there were certain magazines like the Musician's Courier, Etude magazine, that was just slamming this music and treating it sort of like some kind of a disease. And don't worry, folks, it's going to go away at some time too soon.
Fortunately, they were wrong. A song that was a big hit during World War II, Sentimental Journey. So this is the 20s, 2020 and 2020s, but we're going to go back and celebrate the 1920s with a song somewhat like emblematic of the era. This is the Charleston. Well, thank you so much for coming. Wow, I had no idea what to expect, honestly. It's great, wonderful. wonderful, big, knowledgeable, appreciative audience. Thanks so much. Thanks for the Council on Aging for having us.
Thank you for coming in today on your pre-holiday event.
Yes,
I'd like to thank everybody who attended today. When I first started working here a couple years ago, they told me, you know what, Kevin, during the holidays, don't worry about the Wellesley people. They're in Europe or they're down the Cape. They're in their second or third house somewhere. So don't even bother planning events for those days. Well, I didn't listen to them because here we are today, really a full house the day before you go out and enjoy your holiday weekend with your friends and family. So from the COA, thank you for coming out today and being part of the center here. And thank you guys.
And we can't finish a July 4th thing without playing this.